This podcast contains strong language and discussions about relationships, sex, and love. It may not be suitable for younger listeners. This is the Sex and Singapore City podcast, and I am Nixalina. Hi! Happy International Women's Day! Welcome, women and men. I'm sorry it's not your day. Don't be sad, but you are allowed to listen. Although I don't know if this episode's really going to help you, if I'm totally honest. So today, given it's International Women's Day, I am doing a guide on how to become a strong, authentic, badass leading female. Now, I do get a lot of messages and emails and all that jazz, not just since the podcast launched, but my blog as well for over years, from kind of women saying like, you're so confident, or like, you're so strong, and I'd love to be like that. I don't feel like I am, blah, blah, blah. Okay, firstly, I don't think I'm that strong, if I'm totally honest. Secondly, you can definitely be strong too, and you can definitely start becoming the kind of woman you want to be. Don't idolize anyone, like especially not me. God knows from one day to the next, I'd have no idea what I'm doing. My family will definitely attest to that. But there are ways that I would like to discuss with you where I think if you're asking for my opinion on how I am the way I am and the woman that I want to become as well, because it's always a journey for everyone, right? Like I'm not in an end goal here. Then here are kind of like some pointers in life, tips I would think that might help us all. One being how I got to where I am now, and two, things I focus on to where I want to be. So I'm sharing it with you guys to maybe give you a little bit insight, maybe help you think about stuff you might not have thought about before. And fingers crossed, help you become a very authentic, strong, confident, respectful, badass leading female. Let's hear it for the girls. God love you all. Okay, stop waffling next. Let's dive right on in. Point 1, scrap the success, live for the passion. What? What the fuck does she just say? Because we're all about success. Yeah, I know. And I'm all about success too. And everyone says you should always strive for success, your career goals, your life goals. Yeah, what I'm actually saying is drop that a little bit. Focus instead on your passion. Let me explain why I'm coming in such a backwards motion with this. When I started my blog, I had no idea back then what the fuck I was doing, what my end goal was, nothing. I was 23 years old in the blogger world that was like old as fuck. One of the bloggers I really liked was 16. So I was like, shit, I am past it. And I had no idea what really blogging meant. All I knew was I was doing makeup at a counter and I missed writing. That's it. That's all I knew. I used to work at a magazine. I had to resign because I had an affair with the boss. YOLO. Hashtag lolly novel coming. Resigned from the magazine, went to work at a makeup counter, did makeup all day and just missed writing. So I was like, okay, this blog thing means you can just write about whatever you want. Okay, cool. That's as far as it went. There was no, I will become UK's voted #1 blogger. There was none of that. I had no idea that was even an option. I just followed my passion. So I started writing blogs, wrote about beauty and fashion, obviously, because I was a makeup artist, so I had the skill set and the knowledge. Then I started writing about all my shitty dates, because I was like, fuck, man, dating in London is a bloody minefield. Then those articles, they really started getting traction. So I was like, hang on a minute. People are vibing this dating stuff. People are living for the honesty. They love that I'm just so authentic to shit that went down, embarrassing myself. I don't sugarcoat stuff. If I was a moron, then I was a moron. Really, really started to take off. Within a year, I was signed to an agency. Like, fuck. No idea what I was doing. Really, I'm not a stupid woman. I'm not going to play dumb. But I never set out for success, ever. It was passion first, and then success follows. And I'm really, really staying true to that now. The same with the podcast. My producer, thank goodness, emailed me out of the blue. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea about the podcasting world. None. And I was like, okay, let's go for it. Then I realised I liked doing it. If I'd done a session in the studio and I thought, actually, I really don't enjoy that, I wouldn't come back because it's not my passion. I think you have to really follow your passion, then success comes. Honestly, I think it's that way around. Don't chase success and grind with a lot of pain and misery in something you don't want to do or you don't love every day because you're chasing success. Nah. Follow the passion. Number 2, off the back of that, always follow your own wild heart. Why do I say that? Because when I started my blog all those years ago, most of my family and friends were completely against it. Like, oh my God, that sounds tacky. That makes you sound like you're a sex blogger. It makes you sound like you're a prostitute. It makes you sound like you're a porn star. I was none of those. Unfortunately, never been a porn star. Never got paid for sex. Actually, either, which is a real shame because I think I'd look great on camera. My ass, honey. No to that. No to OnlyFans. That's another story. But everyone was against it. I even had one of my family members basically say, look, give it up. You worked at the magazine. Didn't work out. That's not where the money is. Become a lawyer or a teacher. What? Like, I'm 23. I've done an English lit degree. You want me to become a lawyer? So you want me to go back and do a whole other, 5 years, 8 years? You want me to be a teacher? I don't like kids. I like them now, but what, a classroom full of them? No. So I felt a lot of pressure to conform to what my family and friends expected of me. It wasn't me. I was the wild heart child. I was the sex blogger. I was the one running around London, going on dates, dating models, staying out all night in these West End clubs. That was me. I was the girl having an affair with the boss. And I'm not going to apologise for being authentic to myself, right? I feel like a lot of us conform to what society thinks we should be like, family thinks we should be like, friends and other peer pressures, work colleagues think we should be like. No, honestly, people do have good influences. People do say things that comes from a good place with them, but actually it's still all laid with their own opinions, and it's still laid with their own life experiences, you know? And it's not easy, but you should always follow your own wild heart first and foremost, okay? Because at the end of the day, you got to go to bed at night with yourself, by yourself, comfortable and happy with who you are. Point number 3, you have a voice, use it. That doesn't mean you have to all go make your own podcast, although welcome if you do. YOLO! I don't know why I keep YOLOing today, because, you know, that's really that's a young, old millennial thing that should have died like a decade ago. My bad. Yeah, you have a voice. So the way I see it is, lots of people are scared to say how they feel. Lots of people are scared to speak up, especially in like the working place, you know, if there's authority and hierarchy, even if you think my ideas are better than that, I could do better than that. I know what's wrong with that. Even if that all happens, people are still just terrified to share their opinion in case they're wrong. The only way you become a badass leading female is if you embrace that voice and you don't give a shit if you're wrong. You're going to be wrong because we're all human. We're all going to be wrong. We can't be right all the time. That's inevitable. At some point, you will be wrong. That's human. Same for dudes. Like, it's part of who we are. But you should use that voice. You need to speak up for stuff that you believe in, for those that don't have a voice. If your passion is child welfare or animal rights or community spirit or the elderly, or even just at work in a business meeting where you feel you've been overshadowed or someone's making the wrong call, whatever your inner voice is screaming at you like, I know better, or I should help, or I should do it, use your voice. Stop silencing yourself because you're scared to be wrong. Embrace the fact that one day you will be wrong. You might be wrong every day. So what? Use your voice. You have one. Use it. And when you start using it for good things for your own life and for good things for other people around you, honestly, you will really start feeling the change in yourself, and the confidence will follow suit as well. I promise you that. Sometimes I use my voice a little bit too much. Not gonna lie. Gets me in trouble. Maybe don't use your voice as much as Nixalina does. That's probably another sideline comment there. Point number 4. Understand that opinions are not fact. Let's say that again. Opinions are not fact. Here's an opinion. My mum and my sister hate my green hair. They fucking hate my green hair. I bloody love my green hair. They've pressured me for years to try and go back to brunette. My old workplace told me green hair wasn't editor-worthy and actually made me dye it back to brunette. And the year in between where I was brunette, because I was conforming to what my work wanted, and obviously the work pays the bills, I was fucking miserable. I hated looking. I looked in the mirror and I'm like, oh, God, I'm not Nixalina. I don't feel like me. I don't look like me. So after I left the workplace and I set up my own blog and all that jazz, I was like, sod it, I'm going back to green. Because I want to be green. Dyed it back green, love it. I obviously still get opinions from people like, oh, you'd look so much better darker. Have you tried blonde? No, I'm green. Your opinion is not fact. And if I like my hair this colour, then fuck's given for anyone else. No, none. You have to understand, opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one. It doesn't mean they're facts. And when you start ciphering through people's opinions based on their own life choices, their own personalities, what they've been through, you can really wadle through all the shit and actually take, I guess, advice or information that does help you. But don't allow other people's opinions to affect or change you in any way, in any negative way. Just, okay, that's cool. I really appreciate that that's how you feel. That's not how I feel, though. So there's two people who feel very differently. Who's wrong and who's right? Neither of you are wrong and neither of you are right. But for you, your opinion is right for you. Which is why my hair is still fucking long and green. Number 5. Drop the fear and take the leap. Okay, I've done this many, many times in my life, so I'm going to give you just one example. I resigned from my job in London. I hated it. This was 2016. Absolutely hated it. I had a mortgage. I had a cat, me to feed, because I own my own place where I'm from. And yeah, I was like, I'm so unhappy. I'm resigning on the spot. Just had enough. Then I'm like, fuck. Okay. Shit. Now I don't have a job. I never really freaked out. I was proper chill. A bit too chill, if I'm honest. I spent the whole summer sunbathing by the castle near where I live, having coffees, and I felt like I was living my best single jobless life. Yeah, I just trusted that something was going to happen. I've always felt that way when it comes to career. I've just been quite like, if it's not serving me now, I'm off. Something's going to happen. Well, 5 months of Skype interviews later, I get offered a job in Singapore. I'd never, ever been to Singapore. Ever. No idea about it. I had to Google it. Okay, where is it? What's the culture? I mean, obviously, Singapore is one of the best countries in the world. That's my opinion, by the way. That's not fact. However, I think we would all agree. I love it. Never been to Singapore, no idea what I was doing, hadn't even seen my workplace, and I said yes. Sign me up. Within 6 weeks, employment pass was through and a one-way ticket was booked. Kid you not. That's how it was. I'd also, in the interim, actually met my ex. I was going to say I met the love of my life because that's what I always used to say, but he ain't. But I met my ex-partner and I was like, yo, like, I really like you, but I am actually emigrating. The leap of faith changed my world. I just can't even imagine. I can't even imagine if I had been too scared to do that, or I just like it does. It's an alien idea to me if I hadn't done it. And I remember when I was interviewing in those 5 months, I was speaking like, with my family, and I'm like, well, I might be moving to Singapore. And they were like, Nix, come on now. You need to look for a job in London. You've been jobless for like 2 or 3 months. Like, obviously, it's a sweet, nice idea, but you're not going to move to Singapore. So, like, come on, reality, wake up. And I was a bit like, well, no, why can't I? I mean, they've interviewed me 2 or 3 times now. I haven't got a rejection letter. I just powered through with my own faith in myself. Didn't listen to other people's opinions. And, yeah, took a leap of faith. It's scary as hell. Like, I moved here January 2017 and I was completely on my own. The guy that I thought I was in love with was back 7,000 miles away. My family was 7,000 miles away. I had no friends here, none. I had no idea like about the working culture of what I was walking into. Yeah, shit, scary times. Best thing I ever did. If it frightens you, it might be good for you. And the only way you can really grow is when you challenge yourself and step outside of your boundaries. So it's not just about the career here. I mean, personal relationships, friendships, just take that leap of faith. If it's a wrong decision, hey, it's a wrong decision. At least you tried. Number 6, understand the difference of being confident versus being loud and the centre of attention. Now, this is a tricky one because I am fucking loud. I was born loud. I am loud. I don't think I have a volume dial, honestly. I think it's just loud. What I mean here is, when I talk about being a confident, like, leading female, that doesn't mean you have to be the centre of attention in a room. That doesn't mean you have to walk into a party like, I'm here. That's very different. Being a confident woman can actually be about being very quiet, very observational, very strong in your own silent presence. Don't think because, perhaps you're quiet or shy or you don't like being the centre of attention, you shy away from all that. That doesn't mean you can't be a confident, strong woman. You absolutely can. It's a very different kind of strength. And actually, I yearn to be more that way. I don't want to be this fucking loud. I don't want to walk into a party and then be talking to everyone. Sometimes I just want to sit at the back and have a quiet bloody drink. You get me? Number 7. Love yourself more than you love anything or anyone else. This is something that I recently learned. I'm going through the process, still doing a lot of healing, still not there yet. But fuck me, I've always loved someone above my own self. Always. You love me, I will give you anything. I didn't realise how badly detrimental it was until I was with someone who took as much as he could off me, with giving me minimal return and then blaming me for it all when it went wrong anyway. I didn't realise how much I give to the point I have no boundaries. If you love me, anything below that doesn't exist. And that is a huge problem because it means people will take advantage. And sadly, there are people out there that do take advantage. I was with one for years. I've never felt more neglected, isolated, depleted, unloved. I just wasn't a priority. And whilst I'm there bigging him up, putting him on a pedestal, I love you, you're amazing. I love you, you're amazing. I support you. I'll move back with you. I'll be with you forever. I'm happy to stepmom your son. I'll pay for all our holidays. I'll help you go to Everest. Don't worry about rent. You come live, don't worry about it. I'll do this. I'll organise all the date nights. I'll do it. I loved him more than I loved myself. And it is one of my biggest regrets. Because if I loved myself more than him, we wouldn't have lasted a year. Honestly, we wouldn't. It was my lack of boundaries, my empathic soul, and my, not obsession, but my need to be in a loving relationship that I thought that validates me. Him loving me or saying he loves me having a boyfriend, that validates me and my self-worth. Wrong. Absolutely fucking wrong. Your only way you can validate your self-worth is you. The only way that you can be in a real loving relationship is when you show up for yourself and love yourself first. And I got that all backward. So this is something that I'm still deeply working on, but it's a huge point to becoming such a strong leading female in your own life, is to love yourself more than you love anything or anyone else. Wait, because I do love my cats more than me. If I'm totally honest, I do love my cats. I'm happy to love them more than they love me because they're so cute. Number 8. Drop any toxic shit in your life. That's pretty much self-explanatory. Friendships, work colleagues, jobs, relationships, heck, even family. If it's causing you misery, deep misery, and if it's ongoing and it's unresolvable, get rid. What the fuck are you hanging on for? What are you putting up with that for? Let's be honest. We all go to the grave alone. So and it's a horrible thing to say. We do. We all go to the grave alone. So you've only really got you through your whole life. So you were bound to no one, by no one, to put up with shit that makes you miserable. Drop that toxic shit from your life pronto. Number 9, welcome all competition. So this becomes more about career focus. Competition's great. You are only ever going to be able to be your best self and know that you are successful in your field if you have competition otherwise. We all seem to think, oh my God, someone else set up a podcast about women's stuff. Oh no. All right, and I mean, I'm number 26 in the Spotify charts. Cheeky self-plug. But like, okay, cool. So if someone else sets up a podcast and it's amazing and they're number 5, right? Well, then that's just going to push me to keep doing my thing better. If they're better than me, then they're better than me. Like, I don't want women to be fearful, scared of having competition. Actually, it's quite healthy. It really pushes you. Like, play netball, example. When you play a team that's of lesser ability than you actually end up dropping your gameplay to suit them. It's really weird. You don't show up as well as you would. When you play a team in leagues above you, like they look like they come from the Amazon, that's how bloody tall they are, right? You really go balls deep trying to win that game and you up your own game. So see life that way. If you've got competition, if someone's better than you, they're really going to help elevate you to the best of your own abilities. And if they're still better, that's okay. These girls were in the Prem League of netball. They played for Kent and they played for South East England. And wow, I wish my legs were that long, motherfuckers. But yeah, legit, you are a better netball player than me. You still made me play my best game though. And I'm cool with that. And that makes it really healthy, happy competition. Number 10, don't shy away from confrontation. Okay, This is a difficult one because it kind of borderlines into being, you think you're going to be aggressive or assertive, you think you're going to be over the top, you're going to be perceived as a bitch, you're going to be perceived as too opinionated. I don't mean go out and start fights and arguments. Like, yo, you look like shit today. Don't do that. What I mean is, to be authentic to yourself, right? To be your own leading female in your own life and to be authentic to yourself, you need to learn to hold your own and deal with stuff there and then. This is particularly true in the workplace, okay? You don't have to be loud. You don't have to be mean. You don't have to be spiteful. You don't have to be cruel. You don't have to be bitter. You don't have to say nasty things. You just learn to hold your own and accept that throughout life, there might be confrontation. What I love at the moment is Suits. I'm late to the party, but the Netflix series Suits. Because every confrontation that they have on that program, no one really raises a voice. Everyone's giving their opinion and it gets tense and then they walk away and it's just very dramatic, but not like, you know, I mean, obviously there's like cases where they're smashing stuff or screaming at each other and I think even punch each other at some point. But the general day-to-day convo, you've got all these people with their very intelligent, strong opinions, but the way they pitch it is just very, I am me. This is how I feel. I'm not scared of this confrontation. Okay, you might think that I shouldn't work on this case. I'm going to work on this case. And that's it. Like being able to be in a confrontational situation and hold your own space is so important to making sure that you are authentic to who you are and you'll have that self-confidence in yourself if you keep making sure in all these situations in your life that you don't then just bow down or go, okay, fine. And then, you know, you're stressed and annoyed. And I should have said this. I should have said that. I should have said this. That causes you more angst. Leave it. Drop it. Deal with the confrontation there and then. Hold your own. Be very calm. And accept that confrontation happens in your life. Like, again, like it's something we can't really avoid. Number 11, very important one. Forgive yourself for past mistakes. You didn't know any better back then. I have made more mistakes than I possibly dare to recall. Career, men, family, you know, like honestly, we all fuck up. And I feel like sometimes holding on to that past pain of mistakes that we've made just really affects our future and our present. It makes us fearful of making any decisions again. It makes us fearful of making mistakes again. It makes us, you know, blame ourselves in our head and be negative about ourselves. Forgiving yourself for any past mistakes is such a massive healing tool for you to move forwards in such a positive, strong light. Because you are only human. Self-growth has to happen out of situations that didn't go, you know, perfect or weren't always positive. Self-growth comes from the reflection. So, okay, you know what? At least you've admitted you've made mistakes. It could be worse. You could be like my ex, a narcissistic arsehole who can't see he'd done anything wrong. Anything he did was blame-free. It's a very dangerous mindset to have. The fact that you know you made mistakes actually is such a good thing. You're like, do you know what? I fucked up there. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have said that. Okay, I think I made the wrong choice. Go around what happened if you have to, but then forgive yourself and let that shit go. As long as you learn moving forwards from that episode or that situation or that relationship, as long as you take away some learning curves, that means that perhaps next time if the same situation happens, you handle it very differently, and that's fucking great. But don't hold on to it. Honestly, it ain't worth it. It really ain't worth the mental anguish. You've got to learn to forgive yourself. Honestly, forgive yourself. Number 12, moving on from that. Make the inner voice in your head kind, not critical. I spent many years in my early 20s being so self-critical. Ugh. And then I got to a really good place with who I am. And then my most recent relationship twisted me back to being very self-critical again, because he was very critical of me as a person. And I'm this and I'm that and I'm this and I'm that. And, when someone's around you every day telling you how fucking shit you are, yeah, it's really hard not to let that sink in. But what I've learned since the separation is I'm coming back to my true self, that confident, loving woman who I was before. I am realizing that actually when I follow what I want, who I believe I am, when I create content that I'm proud of, then I'm a very confident, happy, leading female in my own life. That inner voice in your head, that can really impact every fucking decision you make. Try and speak to yourself the way you speak to a girlfriend or your sister or your mum. Make you your first priority in being kind, compassionate, loving, and proud of you. It's not easy, is it? Let's be honest. We all have those thoughts. They come and go and you're like, what? And then, 10 minutes later, you're thinking how shit you are and how crap your life is. Where'd that even come from? Make it a real positive, active habit that whenever you go into these thoughts about yourself, you actively change them. Okay, fine. So me, example, I'll be extremely truthful here. I did and said some really shitty things about my ex's ex-partner when we first got together. So not proud of myself. I hate it. And then I feel I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I said that. I must have really hurt her. And then I think, hold on. That was me 4 years ago. I'm nothing like that anymore. I was lied to and gaslighted by my ex to not like the ex-partner. He did and said stuff to make me think that she was the problem. So I had been painted a picture in my head that wasn't true. So I was reacting to the stuff he was saying rather than the reality of who she is. Right, okay. I didn't know any different. I didn't know about narcissism. I didn't know the man I was dealing with. So then I twist it and go, okay. So I fucked up. But that's okay. Because I'm not that way anymore. Because I understand why I did what I did and why I said what I said. And it's so wrong. But there are reasons that led to those things. And, it doesn't reflect me as a person and it doesn't reflect me as a woman. That's how I then retrain my inner critic. And it's really important for all of us to really practice to do that. You need to make your inner voice kind and loving and compassionate, not critical. And finally, point number 13, embrace the lows, enjoy the highs. As with everything in life, I think if you've listened to my podcast, this is something I talk about. There is a half-half, 50-50 dual aspect to everything. There is the highs and the lows, the good, the bad, the yin, the yang, the young, the old, the rich, the poor, the hungry, the fool, the poison, the antidote. Cure the curse. Should I go on? I think we got the drift. You will not live your life without any lows, right? So what you need to do is embrace those low moments. Accept it. Sit with it. Don't try and push it away. Okay, this is shit. This is a real shit time for me. But it's going to get better. It's going to get better. It's not going to be like this forever. Everything changes. Everything passes. And that includes the high moments as well. So when you're really high and you're like, oh my God, I have never felt so good in my life, right? That won't hold forever either. So you don't try and desperately hold on to that to the point, you're burning your hands holding on to the piece of rope, just wanting to be high all the time. Ain't going to happen. You need to accept both the lows and the highs. You need to embrace both, and you need to understand that will always happen because that is life and we are only human and we have to deal with these kind of situations. And you've got your own emotions, your own hormones. And I feel like the way to understand and make it less painful is to embrace the low moments, breathe through it, and focus on better days to come. And I think once you can do that, you'll just be very calm and authentic and a badass to who you really are. Okay, sorry for rambling. I hope that's helped. I hope you feel very empowered. I hope you feel like, yes, Nix. Really love all the advice. Feel like I'm going to get somewhere with all of this. And please bookmark it and listen to it again and again. This is not just applicable for International Women's Day. This is something that we can all listen to, churn over in our minds, and really get to grips with through every stage of our life. And on that note, I love you all for listening. And yes, thank you, everyone. And happy International Women's Day to all of my strong, authentic, badass leading females. Thanks for listening to the Sex and Singapore City podcast. This episode was produced and hosted by me, Nixalina, and recorded at the Splicecast studio in Singapore. I'm available to listen to on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, and all major podcast listening apps. Do subscribe to enjoy a new episode every Monday evening. Please do give me a 5-star review. It helps other people also find my podcast. For more awesome content and features to read, you can check out my website, sexandsingaporecity.com. That's sexandsingaporecity.com. I'm also on social media. Simply search at Nixalina, Nixalina, to find me. Don't be shy. Come say hi.